Hello out there, wherever you are. As for me, well, it has been a little while. Okay, maybe it's been the whole season, but I'm making my triumphant return to Kennywood Park. Yes, I have season passes. Yes, I didn't hardly use them. In fact, I only went opening day and haven't been back since. Not my fault. I had planned to come see many things at Kennywood. I had planned to come see the drone show, which is an awesome addition that they added. I planned to come see the stunt show, both the water and the regular one, which is something I remember when I was a kid when they had the human cannonball. I remember that stuff. I love that they brought back the stunt show. Those are great things that Kennywood did. But Kennywood, we missed a lot this year, both good and bad. And look, I said they're not on me, so don't shoot the messenger. But at one point, somebody took a picture of what looked like a racer being held up by a cinder block. To be fair, Kennywood did fix that pretty quickly. They didn't get the new bumper cars until Memorial Day, which was kind of my prediction on opening day. That didn't stop them from promoting it the entire time up to Memorial Day, but they finally got them. And apparently I've heard they're very nice. They also have hired a new general manager. A general manager that is local, which generally, from a park that has a overseas, corporate overlord, is great that they have someone local that kind of grew up with Kennywood and knows the things. That may be something that may be beneficial in the long run. There's been some issues with parking mid-season where they changed the parking lots around. There has been some things as far as them being evaluated for potential sale. Like I said, that's speculation. That's not me. It's speculation that, they're being evaluated. Their overseas kind of did a park evaluation, not just on Kennywood, but on all their U.S. park operations. So who knows what the future of Kennywood would hold. Like I said, there's been good, there's been bad. The most recent thing, though, is a bit of an annoyance to me. So, the Carpetbagger is a YouTuber that was here, has hundreds of thousands, I think 500,000 to be honest with you, 500,000 subscribers at this point. Was going to do a ride video. He was going to do a ride video at the old mill. Well, he got stopped from filming at the old mill. They did not let him film at the old mill, which is very strange. Because one thing, okay, this dude puts out a video that's basically a commercial, props up the park, says how great the park is, puts it out to 500,000 people. That's a free commercial for Kennywood. And it's one thing if you're not filming on, say, a roller coaster, but it's the old mill. It goes a mile an hour. But, so, there was a Kennywood Facebook group, and I got into it with a few people there, because a lot of these, is it fair to say Kennywood shills? I guess you could say Kennywood shills. Or well, this has been on the rule book for some time. And even one of the experts, so there's a guy that's Dave Hayner who wrote a book on Kennywood. He said it's been on, it's been there for a long time. And if it's been there for a long time, then it's been there, to be sure. So I take his input over any of these random shill people. But they're basically this has been the rule books for a long time. Everybody should know to enforce it. First off, do you know that in the state of Pennsylvania, it's illegal to sing in a bathtub? Are you aware of this? Have you ever sang in a bathtub? Has your kid ever sang in a bathtub? Well, under Pennsylvania state law, you're guilty. Except for that's not being enforced and hasn't been enforced for 100 years. And if you look on YouTube, there are thousands, and I repeat, thousands of Kennywood ride videos on YouTube. So if they just started cracking down this year, fine. But don't give me this stuff like it's been on the books forever. If you're not enforcing the rule, it's not a rule. Simple as that. My policy, if you have a secured GoPro, go on the roller coasters with a secured GoPro. I don't want you pulling out an iPhone on the roller coasters either. But anybody on the planet should be able to bring a phone or a camera and film some of the old mill or the Ghostwood Estate or some of these other Noah's Ark, some of these other things that, you have full control of your device the entire time. That's silly. But, like I said, Kennywood has some good ideas. Tonight, for example, even though we've been long-winded and talking about all the catch-ups on Kennywood, is no exception. This is 21 and over night at Kennywood Park, a first for them. And so the idea is very simple. The park is standard open from 4 to 10. It's 8 p.m. currently. And from 8 to 10 will be just a standard park, but then from 10 to 12 is 21 and over night, where they have some exclusive drinks, some cocktails. They have the buffet that's part of the experience, and it is a separate ticketed event. I am a pass holder, so I only paid $14.99. For a non-pass holder, I think it's $34.99, something like that, but don't quote me on it. But I'm very curious to see what this is all about and make my triumphant return to Kennywood Park for 21 and over night. West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, and Tom was here.
Hi there, Mark Summers here. You're watching Tom is Here, and ready? On your mark, get set, go!
Now, there is a question I kind of thought to myself. Am I too over for 21 and over? I'm well over 21. In fact, I'm damn near double. So am I too over? That's the question. Somebody needs to... You feel like I'm too old for this? Look, I'm just excited the fact that, look, it's going to be 21 and over, so there'll be no children. And look, I have kids. Kids are great. They're fun to play around with, but, you know, even my kids get grading, let alone other people's kids. So curious to see a Kennywood Park without kids. Curious to see what this will look like as far as, like, attendance-wise. I'm hoping it works out for them because I think it's a good event. I think they should do more of them. Especially excuses to keep the park open later, because Kennywood is a great nighttime park and it should always be open later more often than not, but it rarely is. Even when I come here for Phantom Fall Fest, it's usually earlier in the day, usually about 6 p.m., something like that. So this is like sunset. We're just going in. The event is from 8 to midnight, with the 21 and over event being 10 to midnight. And the way I heard it is that they're going to corral all the 21 and over people kind of in Steelers country. Hey, look, they have a use for it. They're going to corral them in Steelers country, I guess from 9:45 until the park closes, and then from 10 to 12 you have free access to go around. So we'll see how that goes. We are in the Kennywood tunnel. So I was getting my wristband for this evening. I ran into Mark, Kennywood's social media manager, cool guy, recognized me on site, and then I'm like, well, oh, so you know me. So you watched, I suppose? I've been sometimes critical of you, as you well know. I don't sugarcoat it. A lot of people, it's all sunshine and rainbows with you guys, but I try to tell the true story. I don't feel I'm being overly critical. Maybe I am. Maybe to you I am. Not to me, but you work here. I'm just a patron. But I did ask him. He's like, I don't handle any of the requests or anything. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, I've attempted. He's like, so I've seen and so I've heard. So you do watch. Kennywood, I appreciate you being a fan. Listen, I'm going to give you some free advice in this one. I have a $1 million idea for the 4D theater, and I'm going to share it with you. Because since you watch, I think this is something you guys can easily do for very little money. And once again, my only experience is from the PlayStation 1 Classic theme park, of which I did have to budget staff. I did have to budget and make rides and make sure it was all under a tight budget. So I do feel I have some skin in the game in this regard. So we'll see if my idea for 4D theater is a winner or a loser. You can let me know, Kennywood, in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. So wait a minute, I had my $1 million idea to fix this defunct 4D theater, and here I see you put an arcade in it. That's kind of roughly on the same vein of what I was going to do, but you're actually using the space. I can't be mad at that. In fact, that's great. You should be using the space. Now, it should be a theater still, but here's my idea. Here's my $1 million idea for the 4D theater, and I think it's a good one. Think about Kennywood and their history and their legacy. How about the Kennywood Historical Society? In this lobby here, of which you put all these video games, you put old relics of old rides. You can put a log jammer flume in there. You can put some old turnpike, track. You can put some, piece of the laser loop, whatever you want to feel like putting in there. Any Kennywood history, along with pictures of Kennywood's timeline and history. Then, in the main area, where based on RM Steeler fans video, you still have the screen, you still have the seats. You play Kennywood Memories, the old PBS special, and any Kennywood videos and things that you want to put, old commercials, whatever you want to put in there. And then here in the gift shop, old-timey Kennywood merch, laser loop shirts, turnpike shirts, logjammer shirts, logjammer merch, anything you feel like putting in there. And now you have a whole themed historical society dedicated to the history of Kennywood. And I guarantee you, old people from far and wide would come into there, take a relax from the summer sun, sit in the AC, and enjoy the air conditioning and enjoy Kennywood memories because they love that stuff. That's my idea, Kennywood. Use it, don't use it. Even though, listen, I can't be mad at you because you actually are using the 4D Theater for something. And we can't be mad at that. We can't be mad at that. Oh, they got a Malice in Wonderland official sign there. Very cool. Completely taken over the Steelers building. Is now officially Malice completely. That's awesome, though. So the buffet is included with the ticket, and with 21 and over, and the line goes almost all the way out of Steelers country, to be honest. I don't know if we're going to get to the buffet. I mean, if we do, maybe it'll be well later, but we decided to go into the Malice in Wonderland Unleashed line, which is long, but not nearly as long as the buffet line is. So that may be the way to go first, and we'll see if we ever actually get into the buffet. Just left the Malice in Wonderland Unleashed. This was like an opening special sneak preview for 21 and overnight. And you know what's pretty good this year. They changed the path around a little bit, so they have some nice areas where the scare actors were set up. Scare actors were pretty spirited this evening. You know, for kind of a trial run, they were doing pretty good. They were all, completely in character. They were all spirited. They were all in the right spots. So it made it a pretty enjoyable walkthrough as like technically the first haunt of haunt season, even though it's still in August. But really liked Malice this year. Thought it was pretty good. We waited about 15 minutes or so. Like an hour-long wait, pretty intense. But for 15 minutes, not too bad. I really enjoyed it this year. I thought they did a really good job, especially considering it's like an opening night preview thing, because generally that's kind of the time they're working the kinks out. But I thought it went really well. So Kennywood posted on their social media, this is a sold-out event tonight. And, it's funny, I was like, well, I hope this does very well for them. And I was like, well, it would be pretty cool. They're going to clear out the park, and then from 10 to 12, it'll be like, pretty empty park. This is the busiest I've seen Kennywood ever. I mean, it is packed full. Because considering they're only open this little section by the lagoon, but I'll just do like a quick once over so you can see how it looks. Yeah, this is the exclusive ticketed event 21 and overnight, and it is hopping this evening. Absolutely packed. Now the bummer of that is that you get a buffet as part of your ticket experience, but the buffet line is literally, the buffet's at the End Zone Cafe in Steelers Country. The line is all the way out of Steelers Country. And considering this lasts only 2 hours and it's already past 10 and the buffet's supposedly open till 11, I don't know if we're getting the buffet this evening. The line is way too long. But we'll do an assessment. We'll do a run by to see. I was hoping to get to the buffet. I didn't necessarily want to pay for food if it was included with the ticket, but there's just way too many people, at least as far as that goes. Either you open more lines to the buffet, or you find another one that does the buffet to maybe split up the crowd, or maybe they underestimated how many people they were going to get on a Friday night. But it is slammed busy, which is a good thing. Like I said, no complaints, other than the fact that I can't get the buffet. That is a complaint. That's a fair complaint, I'd say. The current time is 10:52. The End Zone Cafe is where the buffet is, and they said the buffet closes at 11. We've been in this line for the better part of 30 minutes. That line goes all the way back there. They wouldn't do something silly like cut this line off right at 11, would they? They couldn't do anything like that, not Kennywood. We'll see. We're going to see how this goes. Although the better part of this 21 and overnight has been spent in this line, so not great. And we've officially walked in this door at 11 p.m., right when it was set to close, but we are in. Can they cut us off now if we're in? I don't think so. I think we're good. I think we might be good. Maybe they'll extend it the whole time, which is smart. Finally seated at 11:10. Here's our plate of madness here. You got some wedge fries, you got some wings, you got ribs, you got mac and cheese. Bunch of different stuff here. So we're gonna try it and see how it goes. See if it's any good. Hopefully it's good. Although I'm starving, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna wolf it down just a sec. All right, quick assessment. We came, we ate, we conquered. The food, pretty good. I mean, with a buffet, especially an amusement park buffet, you're definitely looking at quantity over quality, but not bad. Not bad. If I had to gripe, I would say the wedges were a little undercooked. We did wait for some, new wings came out. They were pretty good. The ribs are pretty good. And the mac and cheese probably would have been the best thing had it been a little bit warmer. But that's the thing when you jump into the, when you come into the place right when it's about to close, apparently. You got to take what you can get. Now, kudos to Kennywood, because this was supposed to close at 11, to leave it open for the remaining people in the line, because there was about 30 plus people behind us, to actually be able to get food as well. So good on them to extend the time to meet all those people. That's a credit to them for sure, because they could have easily, right when we were at the door at 11, go firm cut off and just shut it down. They could have easily done that too. So good on them to do it right. So I figured I had to grab a specialty drink because, when in Rome, right? So the other kind of mixed frozen drink was out. It looked the more appealing of the two. I wasn't sure what this was. But this is a Frappuccino and vodka mix. And you know what? And it's frozen. And it's pretty good. Like a nice coffee. I think it's pretty good. Not bad. So, definitely a solid idea for an event. Could have maybe been handled a little bit better. Maybe 2 different buffet areas. Maybe not just the End Zone Cafe. Definitely was way busy over there. The vast majority of this last 2-hour period, I waited in lines. 1 to get the buffet, and then 1 to get this drink. I think it took about 40 minutes to get in the buffet. It took about 10 minutes to get this drink. So if you factor that in, it's almost an hour of the 2 hours, allotted for this. So maybe there's ways they could have handled that a little bit better, because it was definitely sold out. It was definitely very busy. Now that it's clearing out, you kind of see the potential of what this could be, because cleared out, it's pretty nice. It just seems like there's still a lot of people, but everybody's at their own space. Some people playing games, some people are dancing along to the music of the DJ, some people are, eating, some people are drinking, some people are just chilling. So you see the idea of what this potential event could be, but there are definitely ways to make it better for sure. Turn the heart on, for God's sakes. You're wrapping up. Turn it on. Well, that'll do it for 21 and over night at Kennywood Park. A bit of an uneven event, I guess you could say. It was great in concept. Let's put it that way. Good in concept. Execution maybe left a little bit desired. When they unleashed everybody into the park after 10 o'clock, because the idea is they gathered everyone up, put them in Steelers country, and then at 10 o'clock, unleashed them into just around the lagoon area. It was packed. It says it was sold out. I believe it. I believe fully that it was sold out. Every line was long. Every ride line was long. The buffet line was long. All the drink lines were long. Even just to get, people gave up, didn't even get the buffet and got, the standard, chicken fingers line. That line is long. The funnel cake line was long, because they contained it to one section of the park. Now, my guess is, due to limitations of the staff they could have at a 21 and over night, they probably didn't have enough staff to fulfill all that they needed to do. It's kind of disappointing. A little, like I said, a little uneven as far as the event's concerned. I like the concept of it. I hope they do more of it, and I hope they find a way to expand it. I think it'll be really cool. The bright spots. Malice in Wonderland, very good. Scare actors are mid-season form ready. I didn't see a dip. I didn't see any sudden, movement. Nobody was in the wrong spot. In fact, the way they had Malice set up with the scare actors and everything was much better than it had been in years past. where instead of them kind of sitting in a weird spot, they were all kind of in the perfect spot to get you as you walk through the door, which is very smart. Also, I always criticize Kennywood for the drop wall boo. There was only a couple of those. Other ones were people actually in the room themselves scaring you from inside the room, which was much better. The buffet was pretty good. Did take a really long time to get into. As mentioned, between the buffet line and the drink line, you're talking about an hour wait at a 2-hour event. So if the event started at 10, ends at midnight, it's 2 hours, and the buffet takes almost an hour to get into, and the drink line takes another 20 minutes to get into. That's the vast majority of the time you're going to be at the event. That's an issue. But considering it was free with the price of admission, great. Problem is they had a really long line. I think if they would have put a buffet in end zone and put a buffet in Parkview, split that line in half, it would have done a lot better, and they would have been able to spread out the lines a little bit and make it much more manageable. Big thank you to my buddy Matt for tagging along with me tonight. We rode no rides. The lines were too long to ride rides and didn't have hardly any time other than the time to wait in line for food and to wait in line for a drink. So it wasn't like the most ideal of nights as far as that's concerned, but it was still a pretty fun night at Kennywood. But the funny thing, it wasn't nearly the exclusive event. I thought it'd be like a cool idea. It's like, oh, let's walk around Kennywood where it's hardly busy. No, you're walking around a very busy Kennywood filled with a lot of adults, no children. But like I said, other than the fact that it was sold out, and kudos on them that it was sold out, especially on a Friday night when school started, when there's high school football games, which generally is not very busy. They were sold out here, and it showed. It was very, very busy. But that'll wrap it up for Kennywood 21 and over night. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you were new here, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Like support me on Patreon like John Bailey, like Brett Persing, like Fan, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a TomWasHere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Arena Club, and the Pennsylvania Autograph Collectors Association. Links are in the description below. When it comes to Kennywood 21 and overnight, I can officially say that my name is TomWasHere. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye, everyone.